All right, folks. So we're going to be responding to Tommy Robinson very softly apologizing to a British Muslim girl who gave a speech at Oxford recently in favor of Islam, and then said that if not for the security that she had provided, he would be, and I quote, cooked, which essentially means that the Muslims outside would beat the crap out of him. So he actually defended her. He spoke by himself just using his phone. He kind of recorded a video and said, "I know she didn't mean it that way. Um, she's a nice girl." I don't. It's interesting. It's interesting. Tommy's like, I don't know. Maybe Tommy's tired. He's tired of carrying Britain on his back, and he doesn't live in England anymore for his safety. And I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. But it definitely, she might be a young girl, but she has effectively said, "You're lucky that in your own country of ethnic origin, I'm not allowing foreigners to beat you up, and you should be thankful to me." Like, it's a weird concept. Like, if anything, Tommy should be the one saying that to her in the sense of it's his country.
Stephen Yaxley Lennon, known to his hooligans as Tommy Robinson. Stephen, there is a crowd outside rioting against you tonight, and without the protection and generosity of a Muslim Palestinian president and a mostly South Asian executive committee, you would be quite literally cooked.
See, I don't get why the British guys next to Tommy who are on Tommy's side. I don't know why they're laughing. I guess maybe that's the way to handle such a weird statement. There's something so wrong with that statement, though. It's crazy. It's like in America, if somebody very pro-American was being told that a group's going to beat the crap out of them. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's hard to be that pioneer that stands up to something. You're going to be hated by so many people, but the reality is the reason this debate and all of these questions have come up is because Tommy was willing to risk his life to do it. And it takes somebody unhinged to be that person. It takes a big set of balls to do that. You're going to be labeled and smeared and everything. And in the earlier period, he probably was very racist. I don't know. I'm assuming it could be he never was, but it's very possible that in his younger days he was. But I think as he got older, he refined his way of thinking. And he doesn't necessarily have a problem with people. He has a problem with beliefs. And you can't say that you don't have the right to question any beliefs. Like no belief system is above question and scrutiny.
As I lay here catching up on the comments from the Oxford Union, what can I say? Aisha, the first girl. I spoke to her at length that night, about her family, her dad, where she went to school. She was actually really, really nice. She was a lovely girl. I think her comment at the start was naive. I don't think she meant it the way it's being received. And I'm being honest, I honestly don't. People may think I'm naive. Yeah, I think I'm a good judge of character. She was really nice. She was really, really nice. I didn't take any negativity from her. Obviously, look, in a debate like that, it's a performance at the same time. She's performing to try and win an argument on behalf of her religion. She's fucked up, majorly fucked up with those comments. But I don't think, in fact, I'm pretty sure she hasn't. I know what she said, but she hasn't meant for it to be received like that. I feel a bit, out of all of the people there, out of all of the people arguing, there was a few like pro-jihadi mugs on that panel. She wasn't one of them. She was a really nice girl. That's what I took from that night. Outside of the argument, look, we're having a debate about political beliefs, but I think that any hard time or negative image she's receiving from the comments she made, I don't think she meant those comments in that way. Is that right? I don't think she meant them in the way that they're being played. That's truthful, because I did speak to her at length about her family, about her upbringing, about her beliefs, about her education. And as I said, what I took away from that night was that she was a very, very nice girl. That's it. That's my thoughts. Recently, I spoke at Oxford University, and there's part of that debate that has gone global. And it's to do with the first female speaker who spoke after me, a girl called Aisha. Now, listen to what she said.
Stephen Yaxley Lennon, known to his hooligans as Tommy Robinson. Stephen, there is a crowd outside rioting against you tonight, and without the protection and generosity of a Muslim Palestinian president and a mostly South Asian executive committee, you would be quite literally cooked.
And I would say 100%, and I should have said this 4 days ago when it first came out. And I feel bad because I point scored because she was on the side of Islam. And I allowed what I know not to be true to continue momentum, which is a misrepresentation of what that girl meant. And I know that 100%. I do not doubt it for a minute. Yeah, it wasn't a threat. Now, everyone who's listened to it is running stories saying that Muslim girl threatens Tommy Robinson. It wasn't a threat. I know 100% she didn't mean it as a threat. If it's been interpreted as a threat, it wasn't a threat. So
I don't know. I'm really not in agreement with this. I don't think she meant it. She meant it to threaten him, but she was saying that there are people outside that want to hurt you on my team, and I'm the only one getting in the way, so you should be thankful. And that effectively says you're my enemy. I'm not looking to personally harm you. I'm going to do you a favor. You're welcome. That's not that much better.
I want to clear that up because I spent most of the night talking to that girl. Yeah, she was lovely. You couldn't meet a nicer girl. Okay, and I also, do you know what? I felt really bad for her because her parents and her family were coming. Think about this from her perspective. Yeah, she's a Muslim. Okay, she's not going to agree with me, and she's born into the identity of a Muslim. She's brought up as a Muslim. So I think about it from her point of view. She's there facing the biggest opposition to Islam there is. It's a big moment for her as a young girl. Yeah, she's my daughter's age. Yeah. So it's a big moment for her. And her parents and family will come in to watch her perform. Because it is a performance. A debate like that is a performance. Everyone's playing up for it. Everyone's making comments. But I 100% categorically know that that girl did not mean that as a threat. Also, something to clear up. There wasn't a mob of Islamists outside the court, outside the university. It wasn't a Muslim mob. There was a far left, woke, white, liberal, pathetic, middle class mob. Yeah, it wasn't Muslims. So when people are listening to a Muslim woman talk about that and say I'd get cooked, I can see how it can be taken as that. Yeah, but it wasn't that. 1,000,000%. So I know that girl, and I should have said something earlier because I can only imagine for the last 4 days when I know she didn't mean that. I know that. I should have said something 4 days ago. I know she didn't mean that. She knows she didn't mean that. But yet the whole world's taking it that she meant that. I've been in that position, yeah, where your words are being taken out of context and then weaponised. And I guess I allowed it to be weaponised. So I apologise, Aisha. If you're watching this, I apologise because I know you didn't mean that. And I should have spoke up from the first minute, but I was too interested in point scoring on the side of us against Islam, which is a wanker move because I knew you didn't mean it. So I want to put my name to it, that anyone talking and saying that Aisha, that young girl, was threatening me or using it as a threat, it was naive wording from a young girl whose family, by the way, got attacked outside. So when she's talking that way, they got attacked, not by my supporters. I made that very clear. And do you know what? If you listen to how I started my speech, I actually congratulated that girl because I know how nervous she was. I know what a big moment it is to speak at something like that. I know how nervous I was. And I know that her family would have been proud to see her standing there debating the way she debated. And they didn't get to see it. So take religion out of it, take our politics out of it, take all of it out of it. She's a fucking young girl who stood up on a stage debating me, which is a difficult position for a young Muslim girl. And she was absolutely lovely out away from that performance and that debate. So I congratulate her on her speech, and I want to take this moment for everyone who's listening to this, who trusts in what I say, to set the record straight. She did not mean it as a threat. I've also continued, I kept contact with some of the English students, the white English students, who I spoke to at the university and met at the university that night, who are friends with Aisha, who cannot speak highly enough of the girl, what a beautiful girl she is, what a wonderful soul she is, and that she doesn't have an extreme bone in her body. Yeah? As I said, she's defending, we disagree with her stance. Of course we do. Yeah? She's fighting for Islam and she's a Muslim. So we disagree with her. Yeah? We fundamentally disagree with her. But to watch something be spun globally against a young girl who didn't intend that meaning, I'm repeating myself now, but I just want to reiterate very strongly that it was not meant as a threat, and she could have been nicer. So I think the comments or the pylon about something that is not the right spin on what she was saying. Silly words used, yeah, and not thought about, but who would think about it at that age? You're not expecting this much attention to what you're saying. But anyway, that's me clearing it up. So just want to clear it up. If you're seeing this in the comments, if you're seeing the story still having fire behind it, that I was threatened by a Muslim girl or a student at a university and she bragged, that's not how she intended it, and it's not how I took it, and it's not how it was. So.
Yeah, I was very energized by whatever substances or whatever things he was using to pep himself up.
I sit here about to enjoy my favourite full chicken. There's something I need to say. I shouldn't have to say this, but I need to, because I'm seeing the way it's being spread and the narrative that's being pumped around the globe, not just England, but around the globe about me. Started off with the Stefan interview, you know, the lad who got cancelled, the Australian. Now on to the Oxford Union debate. And people are making lots of comments and pushing an agenda. I'm high on drugs in each one of them, and many podcast interviews I do. So what I'm sharing here, I shouldn't have to share, but I'm going to share it because I'm not really bothered. I'm not ashamed of it, because I'm in a situation that many people wouldn't have handled what I've handled the way I have. Yeah. So this is my psychiatric report from just 12 months ago when I was on solitary confinement. Read it. I suffer from ADHD. Never used to believe in that bullshit. It means I don't sit still. I see it as a gift because I'm 100 mile an hour, yeah, and I'm focused. But I don't manage some things best, yeah. I'm impulsive. Anyone who knows me, cheers, mate. Anyone who knows me knows that. And also, read it. Coach Zero. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just have it out. I like it out of the can. It tastes better out of the can, doesn't it? Than fun. Thank you. So.
Said like a classic ADHD person. It's lovely.
I don't sit still. I fidget. My hands move. Exactly what I'm doing in these interviews. Now, I suffer from complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not secret. It's not secret. Right? I've released all this stuff before. It's not secret. And I suffer from that after spending nearly 2 years of my life on solitary confinement. Not just that. ISIS threats, terrorist threats, threats to kill my family, had to move 8 different homes, had to relocate to a different country, yeah? In fact, I'm on edge every time I walk down the street, but I'm used to it now, yeah? And I deal with it the way I deal with it, and it has caused me issues in the past and at present, yeah? I only walked out of jail 12 months ago, suffering from these problems. In the last 12 months, I've held 2 of the biggest demonstrations this country's ever seen. Successful, peaceful festivals of freedom, okay? And I've took part and done the most interviews I've done probably ever in the space of 12 months. I travelled the United States of America. I took part in some of the biggest chat shows. And the biggest thing they've got about me now is I don't sit still and I fidget. Yeah, I do. My legs fidgeting now. I do. And they are consequences of what I've put myself in the position, so I'm not moaning about it. I'm not asking you to feel sorry for me. But I'm explaining because I wouldn't be explaining if this was my detractors or this was just the Muslim community or the far left who are mocking me, yeah? But this is the mainstream media. This is high-ranking, and some politicians, high-ranking media, journalists, who are mocking my mental state of the consequences of me being abused by my own country through solitary confinement. And, I guess, the situation I find myself in daily, yeah? So this video is from people who support me, because some of them I see making comments. I just think, really? You try sitting where I sit, and you tell me that all you're going to do is fidget a little bit. So fucking what? If the most you've got against me, because you used to be racist, you used to be extremist, now it's just, oh, he's high on drugs.
On the cocaine still?
No, mate, no, I'm not.
Really?
Gym, mate, gym for me.
Didn't you?
Really?
Gym, fitness, health.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not on drugs. In fact, I'm the leanest, fittest I've ever been in my life at 43. I'm going to be a machine, yeah? That's where I'm at. So, oh, look, he just wiped his nose. Fuck you. And do you know what you're not going to like? To the people who hate me. You want me to be sitting in a gutter. I'm not sitting in a gutter. In fact, for the last few weeks, and for another remaining week, I've totally took it off, put the phone down, stopped my work. Although I had scheduled work, I stopped it because my daughter made a comment, because she don't feel since I left their mum and since we've split up that I'm there enough. Probably because I'm either in jail or I'm travelling trying to push our agenda and our cause to the world. So I just down tools and took family time. Do you know what? I've got all three of my kids together at one time now. Yeah, I'm not in the UK at the minute. Yeah, and I don't give a shit. I'm having a great time. For those of you who don't want me to have a good time, I'm having a wonderful time. I feel great. I feel top of the world. And I'm having a beautiful time with all three of my children, which is a rarity when I get all three of them together, because they're ages. They're 15, 17 and 19. And they don't want to spend time with their mums and dads at that age today. But I'm blessed that mine do. I'm having a wonderful time. This is just to say the media are mocking something that they know is a consequence of a mental health problem. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely, they're never in any situation do this, but when you're either a patriot, a nationalist, or you're outspoken, they have free rein to just insult, lie, slander. So that's my message to all of those detractors. Go and yourself. To my supporters, thank you for the continued love, all right?
Right. So what do you guys think about all this? I mean, the ADHD thing to me is just not a big deal. There's all sorts of people with ADHD, ADD. For all I know, I have ADD. I don't think I would have ADHD, but who the hell knows, man? Every other person seems to have it, and it seems to be a trait of very successful people. I definitely noticed when I had him on the podcast, he was very all over the place and fidgety, but he's a very bright guy, very charismatic, very articulate, well researched. He's a bright guy. Unhinged, yes, but that's what's needed to do the kinds of things he's done. So make sure to follow me on at Rafi the Realtor on Instagram and for all of your South Florida real estate needs, and you can support the channel via the Buy Me a Coffee link in the pinned comment or description. Thank you for tuning in as always. Until next time, peace.